Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. We are back. What is up? Bennett, how you doing? Actually, we're going to get right into it. Bennett's heated. Bennett's very upset.
Let's get right back into the topic. Yeah, Blaine's innocent article, and reading it just got my blood hot.
You were
had to adjust my mic. I was peeking.
Just so the people at home know, I've known Bennett for a while, and I don't think I've ever seen you angry.
There's a lot of these waters run deep, and they sometimes run angry. It doesn't happen often, but things get under my skin.
We were going to talk about what's been happening in Texas. They're banning a buck ton of books. A lot of them aren't really in the curriculum, but they're just like taking books out of the library because apparently you could just call up the state and say, hey, this offends me, and they'll take it out.
Exactly. You list a complaint. So Blaine sent us an article of like 50 books that were banned and the specific complaints that were lodged against them and where in Texas they were from. A lot from Katy, which is right outside Houston, which I've been through a bunch. No surprises. Yeah. Like one from Katy was a Michelle Obama biography because it spoke ill of President Trump. That was why. That's why it was banned.
That's crazy because most things speak ill of Trump. Like you just put his life on paper, you're speaking ill of him.
Yeah, just facts don't look good.
Yeah, facts don't look good. Like that's just it is what it is. Like that's what are you gonna do?
It's like looking through the list. It's about anything had to do with your sexual identity, queer identity, anything to do with lots of things to do with race and racism, lots of things to do with sexuality, like things just normal fucking things that kids might want to read about.
Yeah, this whole idea, like, if I don't look at it, it's going to go away. Like, people are going to be gay.
Yeah.
It's like,
always have.
Like, we understand that we're not the only planet in the solar system. Why can't we understand that gays have been around forever?
Forever.
Yeah.
All over the world.
There was this fun article. I'm going to have to look it up again, but it was presidents who may be gay. And because they're like saying statistically it doesn't make sense. Like statistically there's no way in hell there hasn't been a gay president.
Yeah, but there's like definitely rumor. I've heard rumors about Mary Todd Lincoln and about a couple of first ladies. Was it not FDR's first wife?
Yeah,
Eleanor is another one you hear about.
I mean, Lincoln seemed gay.
Yeah, he was a world famous wrestler. Just saying.
So one thing that I know that we brought up that you touched on, which we're from two different areas. So
right, you're L.A. born and bred, and I'm from the other L.A. from Louisiana.
Yeah,
and like things about burning, not burning, but I mean we're
gonna burn books. Like they've already been a bunch
like
of
a few feet away from burning books. But like when you talked about banning books and like structuring curriculums that fit your identity of what the world looks like as opposed to what reality is. That's why people in the South still think the rebel flag is a cool thing to do, and why, because we've in the South, like you're indoctrinated to these things. Like there's ideas, organizations. I'm going to refer to my card so I get it right.
Yeah.
Like the United Daughters of the Confederacy, which
are
like
fuck them.
Like founded in the late 1800s, and like were there to be like. You know what was good? The Confederacy. Yeah. And they made statues and they, supported veterans and like they did those things, which was definitely one thing. But the other thing they did was push the idea that the South was justified in there and that it was not about slavery, which all historians agree that Civil War is about slavery.
Yeah.
But we were taught it's about states' rights. It's about the war of the war of Northern aggression was a term that I was learned as a kid. Like,
the War of the Northern Aggression.
Yes, yeah. Because we were slaves. We had slaves. They were fine. This was the idea that like was pushed on us. Like I didn't see any like gruesome slave photography until I started like listening to rap albums and like you see shit like real photos and like real Until then, it's like because even as a kid you go visit a plantation all the time. They're everywhere still. So you go visit a plantation, you go on the tour, and they're like. Oh, look at this, look at these, the grand ballroom and the kitchen. There's the slave quarters, and then look at this over here. And it's like it's so breezed over so fast, or they've been torn down and put something else in place and forgotten about. And then that's what happens when history is curated, is that people don't learn. They don't learn that slavery was really fucking awful.
Yeah, you make a great because like obviously the way I was raised, who I am, the tone of like the color of my skin, like it's never going to be switched in my head that slavery was good. But I do remember like Northern American history, like books I had, and they'd have like these illustrations of slave time. And, you know, these slaves were fully clothed. They had smiles on their face and they were picking cotton. And it looked like they were just farming. They're like, these are slaves. And they didn't really paint a gruesome picture for like what it actually was. No. And that's so subtly, it's like very subtle and inaccurate the way that, you know, a normal white kid would read that and be like, man, I guess it's not cool to have slaves, but like you said, they were fine.
Yeah. And like, that's why the rebel flag is a sense of pride for the South, is because it's like, you know, my great-great-great-grandfather, like these Northerners came and wanted to change our ways. So that's, you know, because we were rebelling against the North, trying to tell us that our states' rights were wrong. And that's, the thing is, states' rights, that's the same echoing that's going on way back then, all the way now. And it's like, you know, hate the phrase dog whistle, but like, it's a fucking dog whistle. Like,
bro, it's a fucking whale whistle. It's crazy. Like you said earlier, like we're not moving backwards.
Oh yeah. It's like, yeah, this country, like we're very good at sidestepping. Like we don't go forward. We don't go backwards. We just kind of move. We shuffle to the side a little bit.
Like a fucking Goomba and
yeah. Like one of
Super Nintendo.
Like one of those
Goomba's an offensive term, right?
Goomba?
It was like, I mean,
if you were to call me a Goomba, if I hit your car and call me a Goomba, I think I'd be like, what the fuck did you call me?
I'll call it the G word.
Yeah.
To be safe, I'll call it the G word. But
at least it has a soft A at the end.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. We're fucked. We're fucked.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Oh, I mean, always. That's the thing, is like, always.
Always.
Like, my soapbox is out already, but like, this country has never been in a good place. Like, this country has always been based on misinformation. Like, the whole reason that people moved over here was because of misinformation. Like,
yeah,
they're like, come to America. It's going to be fantastic. Like, don't worry about the Native Americans that are trying to kill you because you're on their land, or the disease, or the lack of food, or it's like, that's people were tricked here to begin with. Like, that's how we live in a country of people that want to be tricked.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't even say like everybody's been lied to. There's just like this, yes, everybody's been lied to, but like you said, this misinformation, and then the internet coming around, us being like openly talking like, yo, this is not how it is. And the only answer you get is like, well, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Well, the most famous phrase in the English language, if you don't learn from history, you'll be doomed to repeat it. But here we are. They would compare George Floyd to Emmett Till, which I don't think is the same thing, but kind of is. Mm-hmm. Like I don't want to keep bringing up George Floyd. I don't want to keep talking about it, but I also don't want people to fucking forget what happened. Like, you know, this wasn't some deranged murderer with an AR-15 running down a corridor killing people. It's a guy who was approached by the police for having a counterfeit $20 bill,
which could happen to anybody.
And it's not even a fucking felony. It's not even a, you know, like the thing is, that whole situation escalated. And then with all these people around, this dude screaming he couldn't breathe, like all these other cops, this dude just knelt on his neck until he died. And then for 8 or 9 months after, we pushed this conversation like, was he wrong? Oh, yeah, he was wrong. Oh, he's a bad apple. And like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
No.
I fear that this whole situation, when they put it in books, it's going to turn into this other thing, like this fucking fable.
Yeah.
Like we're going to be long gone, and there's going to be another and another and another, and we're never going to fucking learn about it.
Yeah.
Oh man, now like I'm getting fucking angry.
The thing is, like, the only, and this is like the silver lining that, you know, may cut you to, like, because there's so much video around today, is that there are like, and you know, that is the one difference, is that like it can be stopped sometimes, it can be prevented sometimes, like justice can sometimes prevail, as opposed to like never having a witness around. And like, that's maybe, I mean, I'm trying to find something nice here to say, like, I don't know.
I mean, even for one of the most famous videos that I like that broke this entire city, with Rodney King, it didn't matter if it was on video. It's always like people were like, oh, at least it's on video. Like nothing has really changed. Like they're slowly they're slowly bringing some police officers and I guess evil people to justice, but like we're just seeing more of it. Yeah. It's not like, oh, this is going to be you're going to see all these cops. Like I think it was last year, it was like 1,400 or something. 1,400 people were killed by police. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not the number one cause of death in America, but that number should not be in the thousands.
No. Like it's not another civilized
country. To protect
country.
And serve, like that's nuts that the cops are going. And like the one thing that we don't talk about, that number of 1,400 or 1,300 or 1,200, whatever, killed a year. One thing that we don't talk are people who have emotional damage, actual trauma and PTSD from their interactions with the cop. Yeah. Like we're not talking about the ones who got beat up or the ones who had their rights taken away or the ones who were strip searched or pinned on the ground in front of their family. Like, we don't talk about those. We talk about the deaths. Mm-hmm. And when we add those numbers up, we're in the hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
It's fucking wild. And there's nothing like you were saying earlier, like this performative political bait of banning books and what people should learn. Holy fuck, man. We got to be talking about the issues at some point.
Well, that's the thing. Like the books that are going to be banned are talking about the issues. They're talking about what happens when you're a single black student in an all-white school, or what happens whenever you're a young Latina girl growing up in Texas. Like these are what the books are banning. Like they're talking about people exploring their sexuality through summer. It's like normal human experiences that aren't ultra violent, that aren't ultra anything. They're just fucking normal human experiences that are being banned because it ruffles somebody's feathers. Dude. Which conversely, this is the another one of the silver lining, but at least it's fucking funny that as of right now on the list of books that's banned is the Bible. because someone submitted it, because the Bible is full of violence and incest and sexuality and deviant sexual acts. And like,
speaking of misinformation, god damn, I can't believe that I got kicked out of Sunday school. Mm-hmm. I just asked a simple question. One simple question got me kicked out of Sunday school, and that's, how did God get here? Who created God? Oh, well, OB, God created himself. That doesn't track, homie.
Yeah.
My mom told me that there needs a mommy and a daddy. So why don't we learn about mommy God and daddy God? Where's it all? No. God is the Alpha and the Omega. He is the beginning. He is the end. Doesn't explain how he got here.
Yeah.
No, he created himself. See, you keep saying that.
It doesn't make any more sense.
You keep saying that. It's like, oh, well, all will be revealed to you. What do you mean? I'm asking a question. I'm not getting an answer. All right, we're going to call your parents.
Yeah, and that's enough of this conversation. Yeah.
What the fuck?
Because that's the philosophical end of that question. It's like, because he wanted to. Like, well, that's okay. Like, and guess what? It's all part of his plan. Like, well, I hate his plan.
I don't think religion should be banned. I think people should have religion. I think people should have faith. Of
course, sure.
Especially if you're not. A lot of people who practice religion are people who have nothing. Like you need something to believe in, and I appreciate that. Like if something is teaching you to do good, and you can set up a culture where people care about each other and care about where they're coming from and care about their environment, great. But I feel like we're only concentrating on the fucking vindictive side of religion.
I mean, it's like the pseudo Christians that are around banning books today. It's like Jesus would not. Someone who did go to Catholic school for a fucking long time, like second grade to senior year, and read lots of the Bible and took lots of theology classes. Like that guy I learned about, that Jesus from the Bible, fucking hates most of these giant preachers. He would personally braid a whip and fucking whip Joel Osteen's ass,
dude,
for changing money in his temple. Like that's the Jesus that I read about.
Yeah, you're 100% right.
And somehow along the way that his message got twisted into this, if you give me money, you're gonna get money too.
Oh yeah,
and it's fucking because of that one book. You could read the passage however you want to read it and interpret it however you want to interpret it.
I remember this famous we had a graphic Bible, like a graphic novel Bible, and I remember this one illustration when you open up this piece and it was both pages and it was a picture of Jesus looking almighty standing on the steps of this giant church, with a whip in his hand, kicking out all these merchants, about how they could not sully the church and the teachings by trying to profit off of it. And I remember going into my church, they'd have a little gift shop right there. And I would never go in there. I was like,
Yeah.
ooh. I always thought like, oh, I caught these guys. Like but it never made sense to me. It's like you would literally learn one thing and then everything around you, everybody who's teaching these things to you are doing the other thing.
Yeah.
And
because that's
fuck.
That's the religious trick there. It's like you do as I say, not as I do. And that's goes hand in hand with most religious
son of a bitch
authority figures. Not religious people, but religious authority figures. Oof, they love to do that shit.
Yeah.
Like, we're streaming off topic here, but there was a preacher in New York that got robbed live on stream during service and got like almost like $250,000 of jewelry taken off of him.
Oh shit, I did hear about this. It's hilarious.
Like shit like that. It's like, is that Christ-like? The dude that told you to sell all your possessions and follow him? That guy? Like the guy would wash all his followers' dusty ass feet from walking around the Middle East all day? Like that guy? That's the guy that you're wearing all that jewelry for?
Bro. I have you ever seen the show Royal Gemstones?
Yes, I've seen the first season, but I haven't not caught up.
Yeah, I would say that they fucking hit the nail on the head when it comes to evangelical churches. Just like the whole idea of using God as a shield instead of a tool.
It is.
Like instead
absolutely.
of a tool for good, it's a shield from whatever the fuck I don't like.
Because they're a good Christian. Like that's like I'm a good Christian. I'm a God-fearing. Whatever that is, like the first thing that people mention whenever shit goes wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll never understand the emotional, like physical, mental gymnastics that people do in their religion to make sense of absolute evil.
Yeah.
I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. I am hoping I can talk to somebody. We should bring like somebody who's like a father, like an actual priest, and talk to him.
I'm down to talk to anybody about religion.
Yeah, I'm so down. I'm so in. But yeah, man, I think we're gonna be diving into actually like emotional intelligence today, and like what that means for our kids and what we went through growing up. And so, yeah, like it's one thing in my head, and this is just in my head. I could be completely wrong for everybody else out there. But one thing I know is there is you can draw a straight line from emotional intelligence, how you were treated as a kid, how you internalize some things based on the religion you grew up with. Because a lot of that is just like, you're going to hell. You do that. You think about that, you're going to hell. And that takes a lot to get out of.
Yeah, weighed on me a lot as a kid.
Oh, yeah. Well, I want to hear all about it. Let's take our first break, and we'll be back with more Papa Don't Preach. Hey, we are back with more Papa Don't Preach. So we're talking about emotional intelligence today. And, last week we got into rough housing, rough play, just how that was good for mental health and physical health and everything. And it sparked a new conversation, emotional intelligence, and like what emotional intelligence actually is, how to teach your kids how to express themselves and how to deal with their emotions properly. Like, we sometimes demonize kids for getting angry or getting, upset with some things, but I know you're dealing with this right now.
Yeah, totally.
You're currently going through this part of it.
I think, I don't know if it's a more recent development, definitely wasn't around when we were kids, but like the fact that having emotions is a good thing and something that needs to be talked about and acknowledged and like labeled.
Yeah.
Because like our oldest dude, he's going to turn 3 miles. He's had, as we call them, big emotions since he was an infant. Like since he was, as long as we can remember, like he'd get frustrated and have big, like, throwing things, like
just tantrums.
Yeah, like if he gets corrected, he still like wants to throw things. He has big emotions. So everything we read and everything, we talked about other parents. We're talking about labeling them and like using, like not denying the fact that you're angry or sad or whatever it may be. So we have like a couple of books. Like we have this little flashcard series of like, this is the angry monster and this is the sad monster and this is a happy monster. And, So it's like it helps him like label. Like he started calling things like he's like, oh, it makes me scared. Like, you know, things are making him scared, but it's like he doesn't have like the right words for like I'm nervous, but I'm not nervous. You know.
Yeah.
So it's been really, really helpful. I mean, it's essential. Like it's been essential to making him like a functional human.
Yeah.
You know, because it's yeah. I mean, he's a kid that throws stuff when he gets frustrated, or you know, sometimes he pushes when he gets corrected. So it's like. You know, but also he apologizes, and he's also sweet, and he also, you know, wants to be on by himself sometimes. Like all of those things are all normal human things, and it's really good and essential to like label those things, as opposed to when we were a kid, which was just like, you know, send into our room. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. It's like
it's so funny. Like our whole generation, our generation before us, having emotions was like a bad thing.
Yeah, totally.
You know, being upset or
boys don't cry. I mean, there's a fucking song about it.
Yeah,
boys don't cry.
It's kind of wild, and like. You know, we're learning now kind of the fallout of men not coming to terms with
we're
their
seeing it, yeah.
Yeah, we're watching it in real time.
Yeah, taking tiki torches and on the steps of the Capitol. People that needed to talk about how their anger.
Yeah, and you know, like in every family, there's different dynamics that that only child has, or the oldest has, or the youngest has, or the middle child has. And like I remember one thing that I know I had the label I assumed, the label that I had was Obi will be fine. You know, it was always Obi will be fine. And I like embraced that whole feeling. I just, you know, people would step on me, they take my shit. Like there would always be something that like now it'd be like, that's some fucked up stuff.
Yeah.
But at that time it was like, you know, Obi will get over it. It's fine. And I like always had to like find my own little corner to kind of be like, you know, like I would tell my mom, you know, it was embarrassing, but like I would always tell my mom that I was like throwing shit in my room or playing real hard or something in my room because I had so many fucking holes in my wall. And it was all from punching the wall. Or like I specifically remember one part, and like I don't remember how it happened, but I do remember getting in a fight with my mom, like over the phone over some fucking bullshit, something that didn't even matter. And the next thing I knew, I woke up, like I like, it was almost like a dream. And I got up off the floor on the landing, but like when I started to put the pieces together, I passed out.
Yeah.
I was like so angry. I had like this rage moment and passed out. And I was like, holy shit, I need to fucking chill.
Yeah.
Like I need to fucking chill. But yeah, learning how to manage and express your emotions are like really, really like important. And like we have some notes on what we looked into, on how to get on the right track, if you will, with teaching your kids emotional intelligence. So Bennett, step one.
Well, let's go. Emotional intelligence. The definition is the ability to understand, manage, and express one's emotion in healthy ways.
So healthy ways,
as opposed, and like a couple episodes ago, I talked about me twisting a bottle in my hands and throwing it across the kitchen. Like we're all works in progress here.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
Like we're all trying to express ourselves emotionally, and sometimes it's not the most healthy ways. But literally, like Nat and I, my wife and I were talking the other day. It's like she was hanging out with some moms, like, "Oh, you're so patient with the kids," and it's like I don't feel like it like a lot of the times. But I think it's I completely blacked out of my point there. I'm so sorry. I just derailed completely. Let's keep on with the cue cards.
Well, one thing I felt, one thing I feel you in, one thing I feel you in is anytime somebody tells me like, "Oh, you're such a good dad," or like, "Oh my God, you're so patient." Like when I'm at the store and I was freaking out and I pull him out of the cart, I sit him down, we do this breathing thing, and like I live in a black neighborhood, so I'll have like, you know, random auntie come up to me like, "Oh my God, you are so good with this kid." "Oh my God, you are so patient." Because, you know, like she's slapping her kids out their shoes.
Yeah.
You know, they're grown and they ain't coming to visit anymore.
No. Yeah. Same thing in like the white trash Winn-Dixie I grew up in. Like kids were getting slapped all the time.
Yeah. And it's, you know, there's times where like me and Ozer, then I'll grab him by the arm. I'm like, "Yo," and he's like, "Ow, you hurt me." And I'm like, "Oh shit, I shouldn't have done that."
Yeah.
I'll like grab him like, "Ozer, you need to listen." And like, oh yeah, he's a toddler. He doesn't understand. He's freaking out. And so like one thing I do learn, I've learned is like recognizing your kid's emotions. So whether it's the extreme negative or they're angry, one thing I learned is getting to their level, like literally getting to their level, getting down on one knee. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's human nature, but like when you're looking at something bigger than you, like we're intimidated by big things. Like, so like I'm like his daddy, you know, I'm this like, he thinks I'm huge. He thinks I'm the biggest dude on the planet. And so like getting down on his level and like, hey, you got to breathe right now. Tell me what's going on. And he's like, it's so funny. Like there's like that split second where I'm like, ugh, I regret this. Where I'm like, Ozo, what's wrong? He's like, well, the guy, and he said, and the game, and I'm like, ugh.
Yeah,
take
like,
a breath.
in those cases, we're like, I can't understand you. You got to use your words, man.
Yeah.
You got to use your words, bud. Like, especially if he's being called bud, I'm not happy. That's it. He's gonna get that. He's gonna get that soon, and he's gonna be like,
he's gonna. Hey, bud, can you come here? Oh shit!
Oh shit! Like speaking, like kids copy us and like reflect our ways, and I think like probably we ended up a lot because of the way our parents acted. And one of the things that Miles caught me doing, and I have to be really aware of it now. So we've got our dog Charlie. Charlie had to go pee in the morning. I always forget to close the kennel up. Our youngest dude always gets in that kennel every single time that door is open. So I always go like, damn it. And so another thing he loves to do is he turns his bottle upside down and just lets the milk flow. So I go, damn it. So Miles, I did the other day, and I was like, oh no, Muriel, let's get the bottle. So Miles starts going, damn it, damn it, damn it, and like stomping angrily, like out of nowhere. So like he saw that I was expressing anger over those actions. So now I got to like, okay, it's like now I have to be okay. Hey, it's okay. We're okay. It's just a mistake. So now I have to be aware of how I treat my anger around my kids because they are little sponges.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I have so many stories of how my mouth has gotten me in trouble. And, you know, I remember, Ozo telling me like, oh, you can't say fuck. And I was like, when did I say that in front of you? Like literally seconds. And I'm like, uh-oh.
Oops.
But yeah, you know, he's right now, he's very intuitive. And, you know, when he sees that I'm upset, he'll come, hey, are you okay? Mm-hmm. You know, he tries to do the breathing exercise that I do with him on me.
Yeah.
When I'm perfectly fine.
What is the breathing exercise you guys do?
So like whether it's like folding his clothes or putting away his toys or no more iPad time or it's bath time or it's bedtime or you have to finish your breakfast.
Or he doesn't want, like I said, you can't have an ice cube right now.
Oh yeah, you can't, like whatever it is that you can't or not right now or a little bit later. And he starts getting upset and ramped up. Get on one knee, I'll be like, Ozo, breathe. We're going to breathe. And I just go, I'm like, do what I'm doing. Inhale, exhale. And he just, you know, you notice your kids' tics when like they're going through a moment, and he'll start to like pull and twist his hair. Like he'll grab like just both hands in the air and start grabbing his hair and like twisting it. Like oh my god, like he doesn't know what to do with his hands. And I can tell that your emotions are out of whack right now. Let's center them. Like it's okay to be sad. It's okay to let it out, but breathe. Let's breathe. Tell me why you're upset. What's going on? And then I talk to him, and I would tell you like. Even these little practices, because I'm telling you, 99% of the time, he's going to freak out anyway.
Yeah.
If he doesn't like what he hears, he's going to freak out anyway. Like, well, we can't do that right now. The son has gone to bed, and so should you. Well, and we'll just do it over and over again. And, you know, at this age, that toddler age, what I've found in my household that really helps is a mix and match. Regulating those emotions, getting them to express them, talk about them, and then quickly switching the subject.
Yeah.
Like, ooh.
Yeah, it's like,
ooh, look at this.
I believe magicians call it misdirection.
Oh,
yes. It's another parenting skill that it's, you know, I can't remember what the proper term is for it, but it's you're directing them in something, their attention somewhere else.
Like,
but it is important to like acknowledge and validate emotions because that's how you make a good human being. Like good human beings shouldn't have their emotions all stored up inside of them.
Yeah, there's it's actually one of the notes that we have is seeing emotions as an opportunity for connecting and teaching. Yeah. So like those moments, like you can learn a lot from your kid and how they're dealing with something and how you can act the next time. And, you know, I am not a very patient person. And a lot of people around me have been like, "Oh, you have a lot of patience.
Mm-hmm.
You have a lot of patience."
Same here, exactly.
And I don't think I have any patience. Like somebody like walk up to me, "Hey, good morning," and I'm like, "Hi, you motherfucker!" Like it's just right there. I'm gone. I'm out of it. But a lot of that has come from raising a child. Like,
absolutely.
you know, you just gotta sit there. You gotta deal with this moment. They're having a moment, and you know, every single parent has the same thing where you're with a 2-year-old. You know, they're like 25 months. They literally just turned 2. They got a couple words. You're trying to communicate, and you're just looking at this kid like, oh, I can't wait until we can have a conversation and just talk. Cut to 2 years from there, you're like, oh, man, you were so much cuter when you couldn't say anything. Please shut the fuck up. God damn it. Like, oh, I got to hear about every little thing. And, you know, I can see him talking about something that happened to him at daycare and him starting to get upset about it. And I'll be like, oh, well, that sounds fun. Well, that's not nice. He's like, yeah, it's not nice. It's not nice. You know, like Shannon was telling me a story about her picking him up one day. And he like is literally explaining to her that there's a bully at the school. What was that kid's name? Bernard.
Yeah, name names.
Yeah, he's stealing kids' money.
What?
Bernard is stealing kids' money.
This is Bernard.
Yeah, Bernard sounds like a piece of shit.
He'll roll up.
Yeah, Bernard's gonna walk out of school and be like, "Oh, Ozo." He's like, "That's Bernard." I'm like, "Hey, Bernard, how? Kapow!"
Just give him. You don't have to hit him. Just give him a good shoulder check.
Oh yeah, just one of those like hip checks. Take his legs out. Be like, "Oh, I didn't see you there, Bernard. Oh, let me help you." Just take his wallet.
Yeah, and this is healthy because we're talking about our emotions.
And see, now I'm getting it out, and I don't feel like beating up a 6-year-old.
Yeah,
I feel better.
That definitely deserves it.
Yep, I feel it. I feel it. So how do you validate your kids' feelings? Like, so when somebody is with a child that is losing their shit, how do you, instead of going to, because I have this problem, I'm a problem solver. So I like to get to the solution real quick.
Right.
But by doing that, sometimes you cannot validate someone's feelings, especially your child, and they don't learn that that is okay to have those feelings. So in your experience and in your own life, like, have you seen yourself getting validated or those missed opportunities? How do you deal with your kids?
It is tough because, like, sometimes there's stuff he's really struggling with, and sometimes he wants to watch Blaze and the Monster Machines in my car, and I don't have a TV in my car. You know, so you have
poor.
But then we'll listen to the soundtrack I got on Apple Music.
Oh, Apple Music, rich.
Yeah, there we go. Hey, middle class. Not Spotify.
Yeah. Thank you for putting our podcast on Spotify.
My wife has Spotify. We're at 50-50.
Oh, good. Yeah.
But it's a challenge.
Step it up, title. All right, go ahead.
It is a challenge because it's either something they're affecting you directly with their anger, sadness, tantrumness.
Yep.
But you still have to grit your teeth and like make it be like, okay, I know you're angry, but this is what we do. Like mom and dad don't do, you know, we do this. Look at what the, look at the people in your life and try to like put the picture in his head of like what behavior should be or like, and hey, and it's, mistakes happen. It's okay. And just try to be like, not make everything seem so dire, you know?
Yeah. I have a certain example of validating my kids' feelings that turned out in a hilarious way. So Ozo has this little game on his iPad, which is basically moving a ball down a track and all these different obstacles. And there's sometimes he gets stuck on a level. And 2 months ago, he'd get stuck on a level and launch that iPad across the room. Like, I don't want to play it anymore. It's too hard for me. And like the way he says it too, this is not for me. It's too hard for me. And I was like, yo, we don't throw things. It's okay. Like, it's okay. Put it down. Let's breathe. Let's do something else. Let's play a different game. And, through trial and error, learning how to deal with him now, he's still going through that same shit.
Yeah.
And now when he gets really upset with the level, like he'll like shuffle, like angry shuffle off the couch, like walk across the room and place the iPad down and like slap it and walk the other way. And I'm like, is that better?
I mean, it is. Like that is.
And like, it's just really funny.
Yeah.
Like he understands that like throwing it is not a good way to deal with it. And from that 3 steps that it took for him to get off there and take it over there, once he like puts it down, like gets angry and walks away, I can literally see him like moving on to the next thing and like, Daddy, I need your help here. I need your help here.
Yeah.
Like he's already going into problem solving. And like that's another thing. Like teaching your kids how to problem solve when they are upset.
And ask for help too. That's another because that's another thing is like as a little dude, like Miles did not want help with anything.
Mm-hmm.
So we got like I think it was this Christmas, he got one of those wooden train sets that like, the magnet wooden trains. Yeah. Like we got it.
Timeless toy.
Oh, totally. It's still great. But like when we first got it, drove him fucking insane because he couldn't get it together. So Nat finally like one day like sat down and like it's okay like calmly showed it to do it. And now like he'll just pull it out and be playing by his trains by himself and setting it up. But like when we first got it, like it's just like he was so fucking pissed because he couldn't do it. But it's about like cultivating that patience and like it's okay to be frustrated, but it's not gonna make it better if you throw, if you do these things like, take some deep breaths. As we try to do deep breaths too, or like, look at mama, look at dada, like, tell me how you feel. That's the other thing is we really try to like ask him how, because he like little dude has a lot of words.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Like, so like try to ask him how, like ask him what's going on, ask him how he feels, and like that also like so he gets it off his chest as opposed to like
just
tell him like no, like
blowing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so like one thing like I see a lot of like some of the anger and stress that I had growing up manifesting in my child, and I don't know if it's hereditary or if it's something that he's picking up from me just day by day.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. I was telling this story with our older pod about how we're all playing Mario 3 together right now. Mm-hmm. So, he wants to play, but he gets super angry when he dies.
Yeah.
Like he just like doesn't understand the mechanics and he's learning. So I'll play it with him and I'll play for him. And, I'll get to a level and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this level growing up. And I was like, man, I remember I used to be scared of this level. And then like I die. And I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. I'll just do it this way. I die. And I'm like, oh, God damn it. Okay. What do I have to do again? Okay. Yeah, that's what I got to do. And then I die. And then I just like gripping the remote and I can hear it cracking in my hand. I'm like, God damn it. And all of this while I'm playing, I'm forgetting that my son is next to me. And all of a sudden I feel a little hand on my back. He's like, it's okay. Let's try again. And I'm like, holy shit. We're not playing anymore. Let's go outside. But yeah, it's like I realized trying to teach my child emotional intelligence while trying to teach him that I have none.
Yeah.
I have none. I wasn't raised with any. I don't know how to deal with it. Something makes me mad, I'm mad. Something makes me sad, I'm sad. Yeah. Like that's just the way it is. And like there's the opposite side of emotional intelligence. And when you're happy, and like how to take those moments and enjoy them. Because I know one thing that I forgot the name that my therapist gave to it. But when something good happens to me, I can't just be happy. Yeah. I'm just like, oh, something terrible is going to happen now. Oh, look, I found $100. I'm going to get cancer tomorrow. Like it's like I assume something bad is going to happen to me because I wasn't like just taught to like smell the roses at some point, like enjoy the little wins that we get day to day. You woke up today, you're breathing. Great. You have food in the fucking fridge. Amazing. There's a roof over your head. Fantastic. Oh, you having a bad day? You can call a friend. Look at that. Like I take advantage of these things and like, I'm hoping that there's a way I can just teach this to my son and walk away and be like, yes, he's got it. But I know it's work.
Yeah,
I know it's work.
It's the goal as any parent is to be better than your parents before you. And I think we're both trying at least.
We're trying. We're trying. And like, just so everybody knows out there, like we talk about the things that we don't have growing up. In my opinion, we both turned out pretty fucking awesome. And that is a good tip of the hat to my mom and my dad. Yeah. And, like whatever flaws they may have, they've raised 3 awesome kids. So they're lucky.
Yeah.
I mean, despite.
No arguments here. I think your mom did a good job.
Yeah. I think
my parents too.
I think your parents.
No, they did. My parents did the best they could with their parents. Like they did pretty fucking good.
Sure, I know my grandparents, and I'm just like, holy shit!
They did the best they could.
I'm surprised my mom didn't murder me in my sleep. Surprised I didn't get drop kicked down the stairs, just like running down the stairs, and my mom just be like, I can end all of this right now.
Hey, that's an improvement.
It's an improvement. But yeah, we're all learning. We're all learning, and emotional intelligence. We're definitely going to talk about it again, and it's an evolving task that we're going to have, because at different age there's going to be different challenges. But we're definitely going to talk about this again, and it's very interesting subject. But we're going to take another break, and then we're going to come back. So yeah, guys, stick around. This is Papa Don't Preach. Oh, and we're back. Thank you guys for sticking around. We're at the end of our pod right now. We're going to get to one of our favorite segments. In other words, so something that we all deal with as parents, even as people, even as men, women.
I mean,
doesn't matter.
Everyone.
Yeah.
As the book says.
Yes. Gender curious, doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter what you are. As long as you have a heartbeat, you're going to do this. And that's poop. So today we're going to be covering different words for poop. Now, Bennett, are you ready?
I mean, as ready as I'll ever be.
Yeah.
I'll ever be.
So I love doing these segments with Bennett because he's not very good under pressure.
I usually have to think about my words before I say them sometimes, especially when it comes to adverbs. Not adverbs, antonyms. God damn it, is that the right word? Synonyms. Yeah. And to think, I used to be on the Quiz Bowl team.
Well, as the Nigerian superpower, I don't have to think. Shit just pops out. There you go, pun intended. And here we go. The first word I am using for, in other words, is crap.
I'm going to go with shit.
I'm going to go with excrement.
I'm going to go with shite.
What about number 2?
I'm going to go with doo-doo.
Yule log.
Sorry, I just tickled myself by saying doo-doo into a microphone. Scat.
Ooh. Turd.
Cleveland steamer.
All right. Okay, we're going to pause real quick. All right, Bennett, from now on, we're going to go through this list. No laughing.
Okay.
No laughing. All right, we got this?
No, give me 1 sec.
All right, people at home, if you're driving, if you're listening to this on headphones, take a deep breath. We're going to all in this together. All right, I'm going to go. Dookie.
Guano.
San Diego toupee.
I'm going to need your sample, your stool sample.
Poopy.
This one's a friend of mine. I always have to give a little prelude sometimes. Sometimes it's a buying time factor. This time it's not.
Okay.
This is one that my friend came up with. Giving birth to ugly.
Okay. Turtle head.
Feces?
Human fudge.
Food baby.
After school special.
Deuce.
Colon cookies.
Droppings.
Mud stick.
Leavings.
Anal fluff.
Waste.
Mississippi mud boat.
Boston pancakes. Boston pancakes is not a real one, Blaine.
I'm so glad you cracked. I was not going to make it past colon confetti.
Once again, top-notch research by our producer, Blaine.
Yes. Blaine, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for him at your house. He is the Alabama Hot Pocket of producers.
Food's evil cousin himself, producer Blaine.
Thank you, Blaine. Angel gravy.
I didn't even get to say dump.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry.
Taking a good old-fashioned dump. All right. We add that in.
We can put that in there. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for sticking around. This has been another episode of Papa Don't Preach. Big shout out goes up to our producing staff. They're not just the shittiest people, but some of the best. Another pun for you. DNA, our Aaron Mostow, they do our music. Ladies and gentlemen, follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter. Our YouTube page is up. This is Papa Don't Preach. Bennett.
See y'all later.
Peace out. Plonker.